but
You see what Evan said about you and follow out some Snipes podcast? Yeah, I did. I'm actually going to talk about that. Yeah, so Evan said that I was like a god coach at the beginning when I joined the team, and then I started getting mad and fell off. The part that he failed to mention is that, okay, first of all, I thought that was like incredibly disrespectful because no one has talked bad about him, and we all we're just going to live with the fact that, you know, we pulled off a historic year 3 and not bring up anything. Like, we were just gonna live with it. So that was like incredibly immature and disrespectful. I hadn't said anything about it.
That's fair.
But the thing that he failed to mention is that after champs, he apparently hated the game, wanted to quit, and then during Pro League Split 1, wasn't playing the game.
Here,
and we had to have a conversation to get him to play the game. And then on top of that, multiple times after champs, I brought up the conversation with the team that we lacked like intensity and energy in scrims.
Yeah, because
I didn't feel like we wanted it at all. Like, I brought this up multiple times.
He's right.
Post champs,
Right.
like 3 different times, because I can feel it. I can feel when we don't want to be there. We don't care. I felt it, so I brought it up, right? And every time I would just get reassurance that, hey, you're right. Like, we need to lock it in. Like, yeah, we agree. Like, we don't, you know. And so, but then the same thing would happen after a while. Like, after maybe a week or a few days, it would be better. We'd lock it in. And then after that, the same thing would happen, where there was no intensity, there's no energy. And so you can imagine that when I feel like my players when I feel like some players don't have passion or energy or motivation, and I bring it up, and then I'm reassured that it's going to change, and that they're going to take initiative and have passion, and then it doesn't change, and that happens multiple times, you can understand why someone would get frustrated. So I had to deal with some players just not being honest about how they actually felt about their drive. And if he wants to call that me falling off, sure, whatever, I'll take it.
Yeah, so as far as the whole Raven situation goes, so he made that whole like 15-minute little statement, basically just based off of what I said about him on the Apex After Hours podcast I did with Fallout and Snipedown. I basically said that he fell off as a coach toward the end of our run together, which was true, but the way I worded it was kind of extreme. Like, saying that he fell off made it seem worse than it was. I still do think he fell off. I think we all fell off a bit. Maybe except Hal. Hal's maybe the only person that didn't fall off. Because Hal's always been grinding. Hal's never stopped playing this game 8 hours a day. Like, no matter how big of a break we have, Hal's always grinding. Always grinding. But I would definitely still think that Raven was not putting in as much work towards the end. But none of us were. None of us were. Like, when Raven first joined our team, I mean, I'm talking like, he literally basically played the game for us. He taught Hal macro from the top down. Like, he literally not only does macro, but he would break down team fights for us, break down our roles in team fights, tell us exactly how we should play a fight out, exactly which fights to take, how to rotate around the map. He basically taught us how to play the game entirely. He literally completely changed our perspective on the game and changed everything. But I feel like after split 2 champs-ish, I mean, he definitely just was not helping us prepare as much. Essentially came down to his work was just pretty much every week he would just tell us to try harder. And during scrims and whatnot, whenever we made mistakes, he would try and say what we did wrong, and that was the extent of what he did. Pretty much since champs. There was no other really preparation work. But I mean, me and Jordan were also super lazy after champs. We all I was not playing the game enough. I just didn't want to play the game as much. But I mean, chat, so Hal also talked about how said that I wanted to quit the game after champs, or that I thought about quitting the game after champs. I never told my team that I wanted to quit the game after champs. It was like right in the middle of Pro League where I was like, boys, like I don't know if I want to keep playing. I'm thinking about quitting. All right, I told Hal that. I said like, yeah, I'm thinking about quitting the game. I literally just sent Hal a text. I was like, this is kind of sucking right now. I'm having fun. It's been miserable. And that was it. I didn't tell him that I was going to quit. I didn't tell him that I had a planned date to quit. I was thinking about quitting the game. And Chad, I promise you, literally every single pro player that's ever played this game has thought about quitting a million times. I mean, even Hal during Split 2. Like, look at Hal during Split 2. Like, we literally was yapping on stream about how he's about to quit the game. When we almost didn't make it to LAN. He was very close to quitting the game. He was very close.